Hi, this is Barbie from Jeannie's Designs. I'm getting ready to do another video, and this is a free pattern from so many creationsny.com. Oh my gosh, what is her name? I'll think of her name. Just give me a second. This is a Boxy pouch, but it is lined. So somebody, in response to the Boxy bag, asked if there was a way to make it with cotton. And this is one. This is a way. I'm going to do cork and cotton, but you could do easily all cotton or cotton canvas or something like that. So I'm going to do the large. And the large is 2 cotton canvas, which I lined and woven interfacing, 10 inch by 15 inches. So you need 2 of those. Excuse me. And then I have 2 pieces of cork lined with nothing, no lining. And those are also 10 by 15. And then I'm going to put tabs on either end. So I just cut a 1 inch piece, and this is just kind of a little remnant I had. And I'm going to make these probably 3 inches long each, because I'm going to put a tab on each end. And then I'm going to do a zipper, and I'm going to do, let's see what she tells you as far as the size of zipper. Actually, it needs to be, because this is the 15 inch wide, I'm going to make my zipper probably 16 to 17 inches. Yeah, just about an inch on each side. I always do that. You don't have to. You could just make it 15 inches if you wanted. Because that's the side of the fabric. And then I'm just going to use a number 5 zipper pull. So that's all you need. So I'm going to do this, and this is a little, there are actually Melanie Ham. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with Melanie Ham, who passed away a few years ago. She's the one that I actually started making these little Boxy bags. She has a great video out there as well. Hers is just a hair different than this one. So since I haven't tried this one, Jessica, that's the gal's name at So Many Creations, New York. So that's her website. A lot of free patterns on her website, by the way. I'll link all that in the description. I am using, and I just have nickel zipper tape, but I'm using a rainbow pull. I'm mixing and matching, and that's okay. So let's get started. This, again, I don't think will take very long. It's not unsimilar to the other one that we made. It just has lining. So let's get started. Thanks for watching. Be sure to click like and subscribe, and feel free and comment. All right. So I did cut these 1 inch pieces by 3.5. I know in some Boxy bags, the tabs seem to be a little small. And I'm just going to base those together. So I made them 3.5 instead of 3. I had plenty. So. I have to tell you something. I'm a little teary because I have 3 nieces and a nephew who are just the most wonderful people in the world. And they were around when we first got Kendall and Jackie. They live in Kansas City. But they loved them to death, and they still do. They just sent me flowers. Wasn't that sweet? They loved Kendall and Jackie too, so just the sweetest kids ever. So, okay. Enough of the babbling, Barb. I'm sorry. It's only been a few days since we put her down, so it's ridiculous how You miss a dog. I miss my dog. There's my husband. He's outside trying to stay busy. I'm in here trying to stay busy. But wasn't that just the sweetest thing? You know, a beautiful bouquet of roses, and I think they're irises. They haven't bloomed yet, but I'm just telling you. Wow. And I just saw them, you know. I was in Kansas City for a few days, and I just saw them. All of them came. I was there taking care of a friend of mine who had hip surgery for a few days. She's one of my oldest friends, and I went to Kansas City to take care of her for 3 days after her surgery. She's doing fan-dang-tastic. She's my age. Actually, she's just a few months younger than me. But she had hip surgery, and she was doing so well, I felt comfortable leaving her and going out to dinner with my nieces and my nephew. And so I got to see them all. It's very exciting. Very exciting. I love those kids. And we've been, you know, I lived in Kansas City. We lived in Kansas City, you know, most of my life. So we got to see them grow up, and now they're all adults, and they're beautiful people. So, very sweet. I love them to death. All right. So all I'm doing is I've got the zipper sandwiched in here, and I've got the right side of my zipper tape to the right side of the outer fabric. And then I'm just sandwiching the zipper, and I'm just gonna sew those two pieces together. I'm not ready for my tabs yet, so I'm just gonna put those over there. So thank you for bearing with me with my little intermittent tearfulness. Alright, so this zipper is going to be in my way, so I'm going to start over here. And I'm just doing, I'm going to do, she doesn't really tell you. Let's see what she says. I'm going to do a little bigger seam allowance, because she uses, I believe, a number 3 zipper. Yeah, I'm using number 5, so I'm gonna make my seam allowance just a little bigger. Not much. And if you feel more comfortable when you do this, sew them one at a time. Sew the top on or the outside on, and then sew the lining on. I typically do that, but this is such a easy bag to put together. I decided to just go for it. I'm just going to move my zipper out of the way. My zipper pull out of the way. I backstitched a little too far there because I got offline a little bit. I was talking. Yeah, happens. Okay. So this is what you should have. So I've got my lining, and I've got my exterior. Now I am gonna just finger press those. I say I'm gonna finger press those. I think when I get done with this, I'll actually press them, but for now, I'm just gonna finger press them. And then we're gonna put our other outer piece on and just make sure it's lined up with the side of the other one. Yeah, this is just a little, let's see. Yeah, I don't know why, but one of these, yeah, if they don't match up, it's not the end of the world. You can clean it up. I cut these pieces out kind of in a hurry, so no big deal. And you'll notice I have a sweatshirt on today. It is freezing here in Florida. I mean, it's in the 50s. Ridiculous. Okay, so you can see on my outer piece, exterior, I have right sides together. And then I'm gonna put my other piece on, my lining, and I'm gonna do right sides together. I'm just, again, I have a little excess interfacing. Okay, so that, again, right sides together with my lining. Now, she gives you the measurements for 3 sizes. This is the large. This is cork from Jessica at So Many Creations NY. It's absolutely gorgeous. She's the nicest person too. I mean, I met her at one of the So Magicals, I believe in Orlando. Very nice. Okay. So again, I'm just going to sew that. Let's find my zipper pull here. Where is it? Okay, it's down there. I'm doing a little more than a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Again, primarily because I'm doing number 5 zipper. And just make sure all your other pieces are out of the way. Okay, I just moving my zipper pull. Okay. All right. Now I am going to put a tag on. So let's see. I could use a purple, but you wouldn't really see it. So I'm going to use one of these. Yeah. And then, I don't know if you saw my video yesterday, I cut this off from the other one, so I'm going to try again. I'm going to try putting that on the inside where I won't cut into it. So we'll see how I do this time. This is a different pattern, so. Okay, I'm going to put this. I don't know why I turned that around, but I'm going to center this. Right here. Okay. And I'm going to just add that before I do anything else. You don't need to watch me do that, but you just put it up close to the zipper because, you know, as you open the bag, you don't want it to be down on the bottom. So I'm assuming this is going to be a good place. We'll see. All right, just make sure you don't have your lining under there. I'm using purple variegated thread. I think I got this from Wizardry Stitchery, this thread. It's text 45. Very cute. I am gonna pull my threads to the back on my tag here. I just left it running. I'll just speed this up maybe. This doesn't really take that long. It's kind of funny because sometimes, like that does not want to pull. So let me get that pulled through and I'll be right back. Okay, that was painful. One of my stilettos has a little burr on it, or, you know, I don't know what you call it, but so I switched over to my other cheap stiletto by Annie that I got on Amazon, and it worked perfectly. Okay, so lay your piece wide open, and I went and pressed this, and I'm gonna just clip it a little bit, and then we're gonna top stitch the sides. I mean, next to the zipper, not the sides. And so you just want to make sure, and if you have cotton on both sides, you certainly can do it. You can press cork, but it needs to be at a, you know, a light iron. And I don't really like doing it. So you can do either an 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch on down both sides. You're sewing through the exterior and the lining on both sides. And I'm doing an 1/8. I should have increased my stitch length, but that's all right. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm holding my lining over here just to make sure that it's staying flat. So let's just check it. Oh, that's perfect. Came out perfect. Okay, let's do the other side of the zipper. I'm sorry if you can hear the TV. My husband's in there resting, and I'm okay with that. He's been working outside all week, so if he wants to watch it on TV, I just close the door. sure I'm going to use that other tag. It's blue. So it doesn't really go with this. So I don't think I'm going to use it. I don't want it to take away from this cork. It's just absolutely stunning. Okay. All right. I don't know why my pieces aren't even. So I'm going to go measure and trim these up. I don't know why. This one looks okay. This one is not. So I'll be right back. Okay. So the one thing you do want to make sure is that your sides and your bottoms are all even. So I did a little bit of trimming. Not a big deal. So now what we want to do is pull your lining together. Make sure your zipper pull is in the middle. Pull your linings together and clip along the bottom. Just ignore the sides for now. And we're going to do the same thing with the exterior. And we're leaving in the lining, we're going to leave a pretty good size turning hole. Excuse me, I had a hiccup. So same thing for the bottom of the exterior. And cork can be a little slippery. So I'll probably use more clips than I would on cotton. This one in particular is pretty slippery. I don't know why that is, but it is. And then on the bottom here, we're gonna go all the way across on the exterior at 1/4 inch. And then on the lining, we're gonna sew in both sides and leave, I'll probably leave an 8 or 9 inch opening. I'll see when I get there. I'll do this with you. So 1/4 inch seam allowance. I gotta increase my stitch length. There we go. This is the exterior, so all the way across. Quarter inch. Let's do the lining. And I'm just going to measure it. So I'm going to leave, let's see. Yep, I'm going to leave a 9 inch opening in the lining only. Again, same seam allowance, 1/4 inch. Back stitch really good at those ending and starting points. All right, there we go. Okay, now, you know what I'm going to do? I should have probably done this, but that's okay. Let's start on this end, and we are going to, here's our exterior. We're going to line that seam up with the middle of the seam of the zipper tape and just give that a clip on both ends. both sides of the zipper. And we're only clipping the exterior. Same thing on this side. Make sure your zipper pull is in the middle. I don't know if anybody watched me, I think it was yesterday. I sewed my zipper pull outside. So I'm paying attention to that today. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing with the lining. It's just on the wrong side of the zipper. I'm going to split that to just the lining, and I'll show you how it looks. It feels weird. I know it does. That seam right in the middle of the zipper tape. I think this is, now that I'm doing it, I think this is very similar to Melanie Hamm's. Okay, so there you have, there's the lining that's clipped right in the center of the zipper tape on both ends, and then the exterior is clipped to the center of the zipper tape on both ends. So I am going to just clip all 4 of these sides. This is actually, I think this is going to be a pretty good sized pouch. I wonder, I probably should have used some waterproof canvas. That would be really good for the inside of these, actually. And then I'm going to clip the exterior the exact same way. So cute. This is going to be so cute. Okay, so just make sure you have your exterior separated from your lining. And now what she tells you to do is just sew along each side, 1/4 inch seam allowance, but just shy of your zipper. So you're leaving at least an inch total, like a 1/2 inch on each side, open. I know it feels weird. It feels weird. You're only sewing the exterior to the exterior and the lining to the lining. So just make sure that's out. Your lining is out of the way when you're sewing the exterior. And backstitch pretty good. Okay, so that's what I have so far. That's just one side. And let's do this other side. Again, exterior only. One of the reasons we're doing this is we're going to be putting the tabs in there. I honestly don't remember doing it this way for Melanie Hamm's. I'll have to go back and look at her pattern. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Melanie Hamm, but she was actually... Man, I don't remember how long ago I started watching her, but she kind of got me back into making bags after I hadn't, or not actually making bags, just making other things. Like I'd never made a Boxy bag before until I watched her video. I've been making bags for years, but usually my own designs. I've never gotten a pattern or anything from anybody. And I started watching her, and I'm like, oh, there's all kinds of things you can make. You ought to go watch them. Her videos are still out there. Melanie Ham is her name. Sweetest thing, I'm telling you. All right, so that's what we have so far. All four of my exteriors are closed, but they're not closed. So if you can see how close I got there on all four sides. So go ahead and let me just double check that we do the same thing. On the lining. So I'll be right back. Okay, yeah. So now we want to just do the exact same thing we did on the outside with the lining. 1/4 inch seam allowance, and you're going to sew it's put at about an inch, leave an inch opening. Close to the zipper. Same thing. On all 8, actually 4 lining sides. So you're actually doing this sewing 8 times. 4 on the exterior and 4 on the interior. It's kind of funny because the construction of this bag, or this Boxy bag, is very unique. And it is, I think I haven't looked yet, but after I get this done, I'm going to go look at Melanie's. I'm pretty sure it's almost identical. We'll see. Okay, so now what we want to do is make sure you've done, so now we have all 8 of our sides sewn. We want to insert on the outside. I am gonna cut my zipper off now because it will make this step easier. We want to insert our tab with the good side in on the exterior side. So exteriors together. And we want to match that up in the center of the zipper. Now this time, which is different, so keep it in mind, you're going to sew all of the layers together, lining and exterior and the tab that we just put in place. Whoa. I just dropped my zippers, my scissors. Okay. So again, the good side in on the exterior side. This is helpful if you left a good inch opening. So it just wants to be centered on the zipper. And now we're clipping all 8, it ends up being 8 pieces together. Yeah, and just make sure that this doesn't occur, that you've got it flat. Yep, okay. And now all we're gonna do, and keep in mind, you've got this opening that we're going to use. So now all we're going to do is sew, and I think I'll sew from this side. We're just gonna sew that opening that we left closed through all those layers. While we're attaching the tab. And I put a tab on both ends. You don't have to do a tab at all. Or you could do a tab just on one end. I personally, when I've made these similar ones, I've left a tab on both ends. I just think it's easier to open and close. Okay. A little thick right here because of all the layers and your zipper, your tab. So I just did a little back stitching there. Okay. I'm just going to cut off the excess the excess tab. I made them a little bit long, but not really much, actually. And then I'm going to just barely burn my zipper ends. All right. So that's what you should have so far. Now we are going to cut into our fabrics, and we're going to do 8 cuts. Let me find my... And so she recommends 2 inches, so I think I will do 2 inches. But it's 2 inches from the seam to the bottom. Okay? So 2 inches from the seam that you created. I'm just going to mark them. So that's 2 inches there. So you'll mark it 8 times. So that's the exterior, that's the interior on that corner. So go ahead and mark all 8 of those. You can do 1.5. You can do whatever you'd like. I'm just following her pattern for now. It comes out very similar to the Boxy bag, except it's lined. So, and unlike not dissimilar to the Boxy bag, you might have to go over some of your stitches because by cutting these corners, some of your stitches might start to come undone. So you may have to go over those again. I'm sure I will. Okay. So cut those individually. So you'll have 8 cuts. And then if you need to, just go ahead and reinforce your stitching. And I'll be right back. Okay. So I know this looks like a really hot mess. But I went ahead and cut all my 8 corners out. And I reinforced the stitching. I had to do it on all of them because it was coming apart. And then I started to do my ends. And I left these 2. So what you want to do is we're boxing those corners. So we want to get the exterior and the interior boxed individually. I remember this now on Melanie Ham's. If you do the small, I've done the small, but it is a nightmare to do this part of it. It's doable, but it is crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, so again, I'm doing the interior separately. And I'm not worrying about my interior seams because it's cotton. It's not going to create that much bulk. And then we're going to sew each of these at 1/4 inch. So you're sewing 8 corners. You're doing 4 interiors and 4 exteriors. So, isn't that just a hot mess? Remember, you still have your opening and your lining, and that's how we're going to turn it. All right, so I'm going to do a couple of these with you, and then I'm going to go offline and finish it. So, all 4 of your interiors are boxed. All 4 of your exteriors are boxed, and we're going to sew those one at a time. So, this is a very domestic friendly pattern, so just keep that in mind. And I'm not sure you're going to be able to see me because this is just such a hot mess. See if you can see anything. And just go slow. You want to get this done nicely. And make sure you're catching everything like there. I don't think I caught that all the way. There. I'll show you. So you see that? So I just went over it so I got it completely. So do you do all the exteriors first, or do you try and do each side first? You know, some of this is just experimental. I think I'm going to try and do all my exteriors first. I'll see. My cork is so slippery. And I'm going to try and do those first, I think. Okay, that one's better. Okay, so do the other, so do all 8. It's 8 stitches. I'm telling you, this, I know it feels like this is kind of a lot of work. It really isn't once you get used to it. And it's worth it because they're so cute. I am on the exterior. I'm trying to lay my seam flat just because cork is a little thicker than cotton. Perfect. All right, one more exterior and then I'll do the interior. So go ahead and do the finish all your seams. Okay, so I've done all of them except for one, so I thought I'd just finish it with you because then we are ready to turn the back and see how we did. So one thing I will just say, take your time. It feels, and sometimes it can be really hard to get in where you need to be and just go slow. Squish it. Squish it too. You can always give it a press when you're done. Okay, I am not trimming any seams. So I've done all, just check that you've done all 8 of your corners. If you had them clipped, you should have them all done. And let's just turn it right side out. This should not be hard to turn either, especially cork. Cork and cotton shouldn't be hard to turn. And if you used all cotton, it shouldn't be hard to turn. So let's just get the outside all pretty. Reach your hand in there under the lining and get all your corners pushed. And make sure that your tab is on the outside. If you put it next to your exterior, it should be on the outside. Okay. Oh my gosh, that looks so good. Where's my tag? There's my tag right there on top. All right, so the last thing we're gonna do, very similar to a lot of closing bags, we're just gonna put a little top stitch on this lining. It's going to be in the bottom of the bag. You'll not really see it. So let's just top stitch that. There's a, once I get this done, there's a couple things that I would do differently. So I'll talk about those here in a second. And this is when it's good to have some coordinating thread when you're doing this top stitching, although, you know, it doesn't really matter. All right, let's top stitch that turning hole closed. Make sure it's nice and flat. And you really, I think I left a 9-inch hole. You could easily leave a 6-inch hole. You know, especially if you're using cork and cotton, or you're using all cotton, I would definitely leave a smaller hole. Turning hole in the bottom. You don't need one that big because the material is easy to turn. Now, if you're using vinyl, you might not want to do that because you need most of the time you need a little bigger hole with vinyl. Okay. All right, let's put that in there and see what we got. So, these are 2-inch corners. I would definitely, next time, do 1.5. I like the bigger, shorter bag. So now I'm just kind of poking all my corners up inside on all 4 corners. Oh my goodness. This is so cute. The other thing you could do is add 2 zipper pulls if you wanted to. There you go. That's it. You got 2 tabs on the end. And it opens, I mean, it's a good opening. It's a really nice opening. So here's a couple things that I would do different. This is just cotton canvas and cork. I would, number one, only do 1.5 inch corners because I like it a little shorter and wider bag. So that would make it a little shorter and a little wider. So 1.5 inch corners. And then when you're sewing those sides together, all 8 sides at the beginning at that one step, I would come as close to, a little closer than I did. And honestly, you could do all that in one step. Well, you can't do it all in one step because you're doing all 8 corners. So you leave that center opening that you insert your tab into as small as you can. That will help with doing the box corners. That'll make it not quite as difficult. So the other thing I would do, this is cork and cotton canvas, and it's a little flimsy. So I would probably, and I don't know how it would work. I'm gonna have to try it. I would probably add some Decovil Lite to the cork to give it a little more, you know, structure. Not that you have to have structure at all. And then I'd add 2 zipper pulls, you know, that meet in the middle, and you open it like this. I like that. At least on the large, I definitely would do that. So there you go. That's the Boxy bags. And I'll put all the links in the bottom in the description on how she does it. And the pattern. Yeah, it's a free pattern you can just print off. Yeah, she uses Decor Bond for the cotton lining. I didn't notice that. Which is much stiffer than the woven that I used. She said Decor Bond or Decovil Lite for the lining. So I didn't even notice that. That's interesting. That would give it a little more structure. I'd still interface the outside with a little Decovil Lite. Decovil Lite is one of those things that's very versatile. But anyway, it's a very cute bag. So it's a Boxy bag that is lined. So go give it a try. You know, your first one isn't going to be perfect. I would definitely start with the large and then go down in size as you get comfortable with how you sew it. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Have a great day. Bye-bye.